Howdy, folks. This is my late night weekend stream. Whether anybody shows up or not, I'll just talk. So, it's Saturday night, 10 p.m. here in Texas. And my husband's at work. So, I do this just for fun. If people show up, that's great. I don't know what to talk about when people aren't here. So, I put up in the title, Anything Goes, Aliens, Loch Ness Monster, or the Moon is Hollow. So I'll just go into where I get a lot of that. So I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff and about history and different things on YouTube. But the Y-Files is one of the favorite channels. And let me put that in the chat for people to come in later. Check out the YouTube channel Y-Files. He actually said his name's AJ, and he has a sidekick called Hecklefish, and he's a goldfish, fake goldfish, like a puppet, or he might be CGI. I'm not sure. He sits in a bowl next to him with a tinfoil hat on his bowl, or he used to. Now nothing's changed because the different topics that they talk about. Anything from biblical stories to time travel to the moon landing. Actually, I'm not sure if they went over that or not. I think they did. I mean, he pretty much hits just about anything. He did one recently that he thought would get demonetized or taken down because he went after DARPA, the CIA, with some good information. I mean, we all already know the government doesn't tell us everything. And so that was pretty eye-opening how the CIA kept funds because the government couldn't afford to give them all the money they needed. So they got into business with some people and used drug money. So that got a little scary. And then it went into also Agent Orange and all the soldiers that hurt. So, I mean, he gets into some serious topics. Some of my favorite is Hollow Earth. Talking about people that say they've seen it. Stories like that. Now, what he does is he will lay out the whole story with all the things people have said, that have witnesses, all the information. Then at the end, he goes through and he debunks. He'll tell you what is fake, completely fake, what they can't prove, and what he might think is real in the article. And he did say that the hollow moon theory was the only story that he researched that when he was done, he was a believer. Usually, he's finding things that doesn't hold up and it gets debunked. I still like the stories. They're still interesting. Hecklefish is hilarious. And even their commercials, like their sponsors, they're the only ones that do the commercials that are completely fun. I mean, they are fun commercials. They can be interesting. Hecklefish's girlfriend is a camel. That's all you need to know. You need to go watch it if you like that kind of stuff. And his older videos were a lot shorter than they are now. If you don't like long videos, you can go to his older videos. And on the way home today, he put out another compilation, and it's anything from older videos to newer videos. And sometimes either I don't remember that I watched it, or maybe I did. I thought I went back and watched everything. And so he'll pick a topic, and then all the videos he did under that topic, he puts together into a compilation. Now those are kind of fun because you don't have to go look for things. If you're new, those might be good. If you just want to listen to something, like I said, it was like 2.5 hours long. So I have another hour Well, I'm tired. I got home at 20 minutes to 9, and it was 10 when I started this. So today was kind of a long day. I forgot what I was going to say. I drew a blank. Oh, there's somebody there. I see 3 people now. No face. Just jumped in and was not expecting. Hecklefish is a monster with a tinfoil hat on his phone. So, do you know the Y files, or I was just nobody was here at first, so I was just kind of rambling on about the Y files, because that's where I got the moon is hollow theory from. But you spelled Hecklefish right, so you you probably know who it is. But yeah, I really like that channel. I was listening to the compilation on the way home, because I've pretty much watched everything he has on his channel. Yeah, it's a funny show. I like it. I like that he goes really in depth to these stories, and then he goes and debunks half of it, or sometimes all of it. But there are some things I still think are possible. There are some things I don't think are possible, but I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in there. As you said, he makes the ads fun. He does. They are totally hilarious. So I'm glad. Me and my husband used to watch them together, but we hardly ever see each other anymore. But yeah, that hollow earth theory, they proved it with science. And that's freaky. But I don't know that it's. Then people go beyond that and say it was man made. Somebody towed it here and put it here to what? Lizard people. Yes. Lizard people. Aliens? Say it's aliens. Say it's aliens. It's aliens. Totally. Yeah. I don't know. I like the way he lays stuff out. And when he does the compilations, he'll be like, he had a video on today. He's like, it was really old. And he's like, man, this is horrible looking. He's like, I still didn't know how to work lighting. I'm like, I'm right there with you, guy. I got this new light over here to try to fix the shadows, but one light isn't doing it. I might have to get a second one. So I'm just using my ceiling fan light. And that's why I have shadows down here. So then I have this light over here that I was trying to dispel some shadows. Who cares? It's kind of working. Let's see. But I also don't want it to reflect out on my glasses, because I did have it behind the computer and all it did is reflect on my glasses. So, I forget what I was going to say now. Where are you from, No Face? You probably told me before. Are you in a different time zone? I got a very weird email that was weird. So I was checking my emails right before this. I don't do it very often. Oh, South Carolina. All right. My sister-in-law used to live there. And I went to Fort Jackson for basic training. We went into Columbia for the 4th of July fireworks. They took everybody from Fort Jackson. Okay, 11:10. Oh, okay, yeah. Because I'm originally from Ohio, which is the same time zone as that. Yeah. All I remember is sand. So much sand. I swear. I went to a base in Wisconsin, and there was sand. And I was like, what do they do? Just truck sand in when they build an army post? Just put sand everywhere, no matter where it's at? Oh, YouTube user. Oh my goodness, really? Wow. Thank you. Sand and pine trees. Yep. Yep. I was there in summer of 86. And because so many people had this road, so we did our field problem, right? You go a couple days out and you stay in your tents and stuff. The roads were sand and they've been turned so much, you literally, your combat boots come up your ankle to a certain place. It was so deep. It was so hard to march in. Oh my gosh, it was like wearing cement bricks. So if we were walking by ourselves, awesome. Obviously we didn't walk on the road. And then I did AIT in North Georgia, which was red dirt. Yeah. It's pretty though. I liked it. Yeah. So where are you from, YouTube user? Red clay. That's it. Red clay. Yeah. I got it all over my car. I like Georgia too. I could go back to live there. I don't know where my sister-in-law lived. She lived there a long time because she's a lot old. She's the same age as my mom. So she lived there for quite a long time. 10 or 20 years, I think. But I don't know where because that was a long time ago. Ooh, sorry, I'm hitting the table that the computer's on. Trying to get relaxed. So I was talking about the moon is hollow. So I don't know if you were here. We talked a little bit about it last week. Unless you guys have something else, other topic, bring up topics. This is just whatever, anything goes. But they actually did some sort of sonic sound or hit it somehow and listened to how much it continued to ring. So they did it on the earth and it rang a little bit, but that's how they kind of figured out that the center of the earth is iron. And then there's, different layers after that. Rings like a bell. Yep. So when they did the moon, it rang like a bell. And I don't quote, go to Y-Files and watch it. I thought he said it rang for an hour or a really long time, which meant it didn't hit anything in the center. And I'm like, science hasn't caught up to everything yet. There might be a plausible reason for that. They haven't been to that many moons and that many planets. There might be more hollow ones. It might just be the way that it, it got created. Who knows? But I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So, and then, well, the other scientific fact was the topsoil on the moon was older than like the ground below it. And the only time that happens is if you drill down in the ground and you bring, stuff up while you're digging or drilling, then you have older soil on the surface. So that was kind of weird too. Of course, Hecklefish swears we never went to the moon, that it was fake. But he does a really good show on that to show, all the things that people point to say that it was fake. He debunks things. So, okay, he shows that it was a fake moon landing, what everybody says. Then he goes back and he shows all the reasons why he debunks all of those and shows why things look the way they did, for the real moon landing. I mean, I'm pretty sure the reason I believe it is all those astronauts died of cancer. And there's heck of radiation out there that I don't think they planned for the way they should have. And I think that's why we haven't gone back, because they haven't figured out how to keep them safe from the radiation. So I don't know how they're going to get to Mars. I don't know if they have to go through the same area or not, but I would think it would be the same thing. I mean, they would have to coat, I don't know, is it just lead? help with radiation, they'd have to coat the whole ship in lead. So I don't know how that would work. Okay, Loch Ness Monster. We'll move on. The reason I think it's plausible, or it once was plausible, is because we're still finding prehistoric fish and things in the ocean that we thought were extinct, gone, were only fossils. So, like everyone has said, we've only searched or studied this much of our ocean. And my theory is that if there was something in Loch Ness Lake, that it was something ancient, something that maybe there is a tunnel. Kind of like, have you watched the new King Kong and Godzilla movies with the Hollow Earth and all that? It's kind of like that, where there might be, if they're waterborne, there could be deep tunnels and stuff that we know nothing about, that it could go into for long periods of time, or hibernate or something. But that one could be debunked too. I'm just saying, I like to be the devil's advocate. So, it's kind of been debunked that no one's ever really seen it, maybe. But the moon is the only planetary satellite in the in the solar system that is geosynchronous orbit. So we always see the same side. Mm-hmm. 1/400th the size of the sun, and the sun is 400 times the size of the moon. Yes, that's another thing. Sorry, I forgot that part. I hadn't seen it in a while. The way it orbits is unusual. It's the only one that orbits the way it does. No other moons or planets do that. Yeah. So I think it's interesting. I think it's something we should investigate, because I think the government is finally starting to tell us things that it didn't want to before. So maybe if we ever do go back to the moon, which I think they really should do before they even try Mars, if they got, at least try to get back to the moon as a test. Because if you can't do the moon and back, Mars isn't going to work. But yeah, the Loch Ness Monster. Hey, pizza. I'm just babbling about different, what do you call them? Conspiracy theories, kind of like. Talking about the Y. I get a lot of stuff from the Y files. So I was talking about the Loch Ness Monster, since it was. I just threw some things in the title. I didn't even really plan on talking about it. It was just something to throw in the title. But I was talking about how we're finding these ancient fish and animals in the deep ocean that they thought were extinct, or they'd never seen, or was only a fossil. So I think with that lake being so large, that it's kind of like there might be these water tunnels to other, below ground areas that something like that could live, and it might only come out every once in a while. The moon is made of cheese, and Mars is made of Ritz crackers. Party tray. Sorry, I keep hitting the table. Sorry. Oh, my back is killing me. You got one, pizza? I got one for you. Pizza, you were on there. I got a very weird email that I did not respond to, talking about who OSA names were. Who was OSA in the chat? And I thought I had checked this was kind of a while back, I think. I don't remember the date. And I read through it, and I'm just like, I don't understand some of it. Like, are they saying they're taking, how they take names and they change it and they use people that are already in the chat. It was telling me that Feral Cheryl was Osa and showed me a picture of Feral Cheryl. Now, what I couldn't understand was, is somebody using her picture and her likeness and her name and is Osa? Or is this person trying to tell me that Feral Cheryl is Osa? Yeah. Wahaha. Exactly. I read through it and I was like, okay, I'll keep an eye out. But I really wasn't taking it that seriously. I mean, the person that sent me that, you need to be more specific because I'm a bit confused. I mean, are you telling me these people are actually Osa? And honestly, I don't even care. Because none of those people that they notated was doing anything weird. And what he said was, they're trying to get intel and personal information. Well, they don't have to be a fake name in my chat for some of the things. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to get comfortable. Sorry, guys. There are some fake accounts. Mods can look at their channel history. Okay. But the way it was written, they were saying this big list. People we know. Telling me who they really were. They're like their real names in Scientology. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to get some. I think I'm gonna. I wasn't gonna email that person back, but I think I will. And please be more specific. Not plugging others' merch, but Hecklefish has talking plushies. Oh, I want one. I want one. I'm gonna get one before they go out of stock. No, I'm getting one. I definitely want. I told my husband I wanted one. I should have got one for my anniversary. He didn't give me one. Yeah, they're funny. But yeah, I don't even know. That's just too much for my brain to handle, to really care. Because, I mean, if they are, whatever, you know, they're giving me, what's the word? It's late, my brain. Remember global cooling in the late 70s? Yes. Oh, and what happened to the ozone hole? When I was growing up in the 80s, all I kept hearing was we had a hole in the ozone. We had to stop using hairspray and changing what was in our air conditioners. And then all of a sudden it just went away. Did it heal? I mean, it just went away. So, well, here's the thing, though, about the global cooling and the global warming and the climate change. And the climate change is the most apt. I had a friend whose husband was a geologist. And he said, what people don't realize is we're coming out of an ice age. The earth was going to heat up, regardless of even if we were here or not. Now, yes, I am all about the earth. I got rid of plastic in my kitchen. I try to use silicone and glass and all. I've done all that a lot because of my disease, except for water bottles. That if I could get water bottles that were glass, I would pay the extra for it. But he said that, over now we had a quick ice age about 12 or 13,000 years ago called the something Dryas. I always forget the first name. And now we're coming out of that, but we were also coming out of a major ice age, over, tens of thousands or 100,000 or even a million years. I don't know the exact time. And so that's why the earth is heating up. Now, yeah, we might have sped it up a little bit and the pollution is ridiculous. I couldn't imagine living in these cities that have so we lived in Central California and we drove down to LA to go to Disneyland in 91. or 92. I can't remember. Anyway, so we went, and when we got there, we had walked out of the hotel one night, and my skin burned. This was in 91 or 92. I don't know if the smog's gotten better there or not, but it was burned. I was burning my skin. I was in near Anaheim. That was weird. Um, I blame the cows. We used to have steak once a week, and we had steak on our anniversary last week or the week before. Last week, I think, somewhere around the 5th. And we haven't had steak or really red meat because I don't like ground beef. I use ground turkey in a long time because of the prices. It's different due to the wildfires. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Where my daughter lives, she's not near LA. When I drove to Burbank, it was about an hour drive. So, she's more south and more inland away from that area. So I'm hoping that she doesn't have a problem with air quality. So far, she hasn't said, because she has she has asthma too, worse than mine. I grill tri-tip once a week in summer. Yeah. I like the New York. My husband likes ribeye, but when he bought the steaks for our anniversary, we got two New York because he said the ribeye was outrageous. Oh, Northern California. Cool. Yeah, I loved living there. Really did. Um, my daughter was born in Monterey Carmel area because because the base was closing and they were drawing everything down. They started sending us out to civilian hospitals. Yeah, ribeye is outrageous. It's all outrageous. I didn't even ask him what he spent. It was our anniversary. I mean, that was our splurge for our anniversary. I got flowers, they're still here, but they're dead. I got to get rid of them. He got me some cookies I like, and then he made steak. And so eating at home and buying steak was our splurge for our 35th anniversary. So it's getting ridiculous. Devin's finding out how expensive California is. I tried to tell her. She's like, oh, but minimum wage is higher. We'll be fine. Yeah. Oh, Pebble Beach. Oh, I know. I used to go to Pebble Beach in town. There was this bookstore that looked like a cottage. It was small, and in the back, it had a cafe. And I used to drive because books were my life. See this bookshelf right here? This is one of those Walmart bookshelves. It's about 2 or 3 feet wide by about 6 feet tall. I have 8 of those. 2 or 3 of them is like church books, binders, and things like that. But I have I have 1, 2, 3 in here. I have 1 in my room. I have 3 in the hall. So 6. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. I'm missing 1. I'll have to figure out. I know I have 8 somewhere. So anyway, I even have a whole shelf that's just stuff I haven't read yet. But when I got sick, it's hard for me to read. It really is. But anyway, I used to go over there all the time and get a book and read, and it was my thing. We didn't have a lot of money when we lived there. We didn't even go to the Monterey Aquarium when we lived there. We didn't enjoy any of the perks of the area, hardly at all. The earth goes through cycles. Earth is in its own organism. It gets cold, it coughs, it gets a fever, it sweats. We are just irritants that make it change. Yeah, it's true. And I wish I'm all about saving the environment. It's just we found out we were recycling like mad years ago. And come to find out, we watched a news article about how the stuff that we were sending in for recycle is not actually getting recycled. They don't have the facilities to recycle the amount of stuff we send, and it's just going in, right in. So all this recycling I was doing was still going in the landfills. We are the Earth Statons. Yeah. ETs. Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, I agree that we're polluting the crap out of the environment. But and there's a lot that could be done that isn't. So I try to do my small part. It's not a lot. Yeah, I know. That upset me when I found out the recycling. So I try to use. Oh, so I went when I got rid of plastic in my kitchen. Don't use any plastic in the microwave. None. Because even though at least in the United States, because they allow so much crap that every other country in the world is banned. It's ridiculous. Try to use glass or stoneware. Yeah, I know. Oh, they do. And that's the problem. They're like, if we can't get these other countries on board, I mean, what good is it going to do for, these a handful of countries to do good? No microwave pizza for me. So anyway, when I got rid of like all my plastic canisters, and because I had all Tupperware, I sold Tupperware back in the 90s. So I had a lot of Tupperware. I just went to mason jars. I could buy a 6-pack of 64-ounce mason jars at the time for $12. When any other canister set, glass canister or glass was expensive compared to that. So I went to mason jars years ago for everything. I do still use baggies when I don't have enough silicone. I don't like to, but I can't help it. What else did I do? I only use natural cleaners. Like I mostly just we put vinegar right in a spray bottle, and that's pretty much what I clean kitchen counters with and stuff. So that guy put a tracker on his blue recycle bin. It went straight to the landfill. And so I don't even have. I was doing this on my own. My town doesn't have recycling. I was loading up and taking it over to the recycle center. And then on Fort Hood, when I worked on the base, they have this huge recycle center where you separate everything and all this stuff. And I don't know where that stuff was going. Well, I found out we were shipping our recycling to China. We were paying them to take it. And I don't know if it was China. Don't quote me on the country. But they got overwhelmed and started turning it away. Apple AirPod. Because we didn't have the facilities to do the recycling. So we were sending it there to their recycling, and they couldn't handle the volume. So then we had these barges full of trash. Maybe it was trash that was being burned. I don't remember if it was recycling or trash. But I'll try to find that article, and I'll put it on my community page, like I did before. But yeah, you want to do good, but our country just doesn't let us. And the crap that they allow that other countries don't, I'll give you an example, because I know a lot of people drink soda. I stopped drinking soda in about 2006. But I love Mountain Dew. Oh, there's hubby. Did you see the size of that chicken? You idiot. Have y'all seen Young Guns? That's one of our favorite movies. We were talking about how the recycling goes to the landfill and why we don't recycle anymore. Um, you made me forget what I was about to say. I have a hard enough time with my brain. No, I can't remember. Do you guys remember what I was saying? Yeah, we send our trash to other countries on cargo ships because it's cheaper to give them our problem than deal with it here. Yeah, well, they started turning it away. They ran out of room or something. I know. Now, that's one thing I have thought about with all of this, going to space stuff. I'm like, you know, we go through an asteroid belt every year. I'm like, maybe we should, oh, soda. Maybe we should take it to outer space or something because we're going to run out of room. Okay, soda. Here's one thing that they allow: brominated vegetable oil. Brominated vegetable oil will cause organ failure, and it is in Mountain Dew. All the other countries, especially European countries, have banned it. When I found this out, and the way I found it out was through my sister-in-law. My brother-in-law, they're about 5 years older than us, and he has his own mechanic business, and he drinks Mountain Dew all day long. He went into kidney failure, and he had no idea why. And that's when she did her study about brominated vegetable oil. So we went to Mellow Yellow when we did want Mountain Dew for a long time because it's not in there. But then there's sodium benzoate is in almost all soda. That's one ingredient away from fire retardant. It's either fire retardant or pesticide. I think it's fire. I'm not sure which, but it's been so long since I made these changes. I don't remember all the details. Plus, it's late and my brain hurts. So if you drink Mountain Dew, you might want to think about switching. But we just quit soda because there's just nothing good in soda. What we do now is we buy carbonated juice, and he doctors it a little bit with some Kool-Aid to make it taste a little bit better. So if he wants something carbonated, wine or water, you're good. Red wine's supposed to be good for you. I have that bitter gene where I can't handle bitter. I cannot like wine. I just can't. I tried. This guy at a really fancy restaurant kept bringing me wine samples, and I just couldn't find one. Couldn't do it. So yeah, if you drink Mountain Dew, you need to think twice. Because back when I went off of it, because a doctor showed me, he said, "How many do you drink a day?" And I was like 3 cans a day back then. This was a while back. And he calculated, and he said that's 41 pounds a year. 41 pounds on my body from soda a year. I was like, oh my goodness, because it's just all sugar. So that really impacted me a lot. My weight gain, is not from food. When I got sick, I had actually lost weight to 108 pounds, which even though I'm short, I have big bones because my daughter's short. She has small bones. So when she's 108 pounds, she looks healthy. When I was 108 pounds, I looked like a skeleton. When they finally diagnosed me, and it took another year to find a good doctor that understood fibromyalgia. He started throwing all these new meds at me to try to help me with my symptoms. And all it did, every single one, the very top side effect was weight gain. And I went from 108 pounds to 180 pounds in like 16 months. And when you're sedentary, like I've been all these years, it's hard to lose. So I'm working on it. I've got a gym membership. I just need to go. Iced tea, yeah. My husband has permanent kidney damage, and if he drinks too much iced tea, his kidneys start to hurt. So he has to stay away from that. Green tea, and then I like herbal teas. I cannot drink anything with fake sugar. I can even smell it. Oh, aspartame is bad. Yep. And phenylalanine. Yeah. Aspartame, I found out, causes short-term memory loss. What happens with aspartame? So if you're drinking a diet drink that has aspartame in it, and I don't know if I'm saying it right. It collects in your frontal lobe and causes headaches and eventually short-term memory loss. And see, none of you don't hear about any of this in the mainstream media. 30 pounds away from the 20 pounds that I need to lose. Yeah, I know. Oh, another thing, because I went underweight, I lost all my lean muscle. And so now I have no muscle tone. And so I've been trying to look at how do I gain muscle tone back when you have none. And I've been looking at that. I need to really up my protein a lot more. So, protein shakes, here we come. What's that a question? Oh, what was the question? That's like me. Fibrofog, just it it affects my short-term memory. It's almost like having Alzheimer's. I can remember stuff from a year ago like you wouldn't believe. But ask me what I had for breakfast. Sometimes I can't remember. I used to have to wait 10 years to rewatch a movie because I didn't like watching something I could remember. I literally now can watch a movie and the next day watch it with my husband and forget how it ended. That's freaky. That's everybody says that has fibro as bad as I do. Say the fibro fog is one of the worst parts. What did I have for breakfast? Nothing today. I only know that because I got up and I don't honestly. I usually don't even eat breakfast. I'm not a morning breakfast person. I think hubby brought me home breakfast burritos. I'm not sure. I saw a bag in there. I'll probably eat them later. Actually, all I've had today is my sandwich on the way home. I don't eat a lot. I know that it's weird. No, I know nobody would believe me, but I don't. I probably only have one good meal a day. So I need to eat better, and I need to go. Planet Fitness. I need to go. I've got the good membership to it. My husband needs to go too. We're getting older, and we need. Are they still gone? Oh, do you mean? Oh, wait a minute. Do you mean to be able to sign up for a membership, or that you had a membership? Oh, hey, Tammy. We're just bullshitting around. Because people keep bringing that up. At first, I thought it was because I had a gap in my payment for my premium YouTube premium. Because I got a new card and I had to find out everything that was on it. Or let me look. Hold on. Ow! Oh, I leaned funny. Hold on, let me look. See what you mean. If it's the gifted ones, yeah, they probably dropped off. If they dropped off and you had it, let me know. Um, I want to switch. There we go. I'm just checking. Hold on. So you go to channel. Wait. Okay, so I go. You're right. They're gone. I don't know. They are gone. But I know I re-upped my membership. Maybe it's because I don't have my how to get paid set up yet. I didn't think because I had money sitting in there. I thought it would just sit there till I got it done. So maybe that's why. Because it looks like I'm paid up for my like YouTube premium. I will get that done. this weekend. I'll go in and get all that, whatever I need to do done so they can pay me. And then maybe it'll come back on. If it doesn't, I'll have to find out. So, yeah, somebody else brought that up, but I did note they did go away when, there was a gap in payment. But as soon as I, got the message, I fixed it. We got a family plan is what I did because it was cheaper than I had 2 premium memberships for 2 different accounts. My husband had one, and it was cheaper to get the family plan, which gives you 5. So we gave both of our kids YouTube Premium with the family plan. But now my husband's thinking about starting a channel separate from his personal like I did. And so I'm going to see if there's a bigger family plan. So that's something I'll have to check out. Yeah, I don't know. And I also don't check my email enough. Like, YouTube will email me stuff. Like, they yelled at me one time. It was very weird. It was about the description on my video. And it was when that guy, all it said was aggressive guy gets arrested. And it said, maybe you didn't mean to say that as your description. Do you need to change it? YouTube said that. And I'm like, it didn't sound like anybody complained. So I just went in and took the description out. It's just not the title, the description. So I just took the description out, just left my email and stuff in, and haven't heard anything else. That was weird. That's the only, no I got from YouTube. Yeah, I'll figure it out. It might be because, I hope it's because I don't have my ad. It's called AdSense. And I went in to try to figure it out. And if something gets difficult, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this right now. But it sounds like I need to deal with it. I need to do that. And there was some other things I needed to figure out. So, because I just thought, my revenue would just sit there until I got it taken care of. But it sounds like it might have messed up memberships. Because I know there's people that have gifted memberships right now. And I hope YouTube didn't do anything to me. Like, I got in trouble. Well, they just take I don't think they take your memberships away. Could I have been demonetized? If you get demonetized, they're gone. But I don't have anything from YouTube in the email saying that I got demonetized. Oh, this YouTube stuff is weird. No, okay. I'll figure it out. Maybe YouTube is conspiring against you. I know, right? The way stuff is going, who knows? Could be. But I would think you're supposed to get some sort of notice, and I didn't see anything. So I'll figure it out. Well, give me a conspiracy theory you want to talk about. Is there a way of telling you're demonetized on our end for the people in the chat? I guess I'm seeing that there's no memberships. But let me go. I don't know if I have I don't know. This is my backup phone. And I don't think I have. Oh, no, it's there. All right. Let me look in my email. Can I get to my email? Google account. Never mind. I'm not going to do that right now. I know YouTube is like, it's like the gods on Olympus. They just do whatever they feel like, what their whims are. Are you using an iPad? And usually at the very bottom, there's a $ and a happy face. The $ icon. Yeah. Yeah. I went into my protest channel from my personal channel just to see what it said, and memberships aren't there. So that usually means you're demonetized. So, but it could just be because I didn't get, maybe I'm hoping it's because I don't have my payments set up. So, cross your fingers, I can fix it. If I get demonetized, it's not going to change anything, because really I haven't gotten anything from it yet, like in my pocket. So, it really wouldn't matter. So, but yeah, I did notice that nobody's got memberships. So even there were gifted memberships that shouldn't have dropped off yet. So I will, if I don't get to it tonight, I will look at it tomorrow. Well, I'm aware now. Thank you. Because telling me and stuff like that when I'm in chat in Austin, sometimes it doesn't sit there. I'm just like, okay, I'll figure it out. But sitting here like this, it was better because I looked and I realized something is really wrong. So, conspiracy: the pyramids were ending machines and not tombs. Yes, I believe that. They found channels. So there's a water table underneath the pyramids. I don't know if it's from the river. So back when they were built, there was possibly water up that access to the pyramid. So there are these channels that go through the pyramid that aren't big enough for a person. And they found a substance. It was either lead or mercury. I can't remember which. Probably, I think lead, because lead's in batteries. One or the other. That was possibly in those channels. And if you've got that and water, that's what they use to make a battery. And that's why they've never found tombs or bodies in the pyramids. They think it's possible they were some sort of energy source. So that's kind of interesting. So it wasn't just a theory. They really did check it out. And so the way these channels go, it's way below what they've found. It's these skinny little channels. So they had all the makings for a battery is what they meant. Sorry. I got this table so I wouldn't shake the computer. Okay, bye pizza. Have a good weekend. But yeah, that's so that theory of so then if you go like all the way to the other side of that, why was it a battery? I also watch Ancient Aliens, and they say that they were some sort of landing spot for alien spacecraft to power up. And they used that. I don't know if you've ever watched SG-1 from Sci-Fi Channel, but the professor, doctor, whatever, in that he wrote a book in the show about the pyramids being landing pads for spacecraft, and he was laughed out of the scientific community. And come to find out, it was true. Oh, ley lines. Yeah, I like ley lines. No mummies, markings for a tomb of kings have never ever been found in the pyramid. Nope. You have to go to the Valley of Kings to find the tombs. So it was definitely something else. Ley lines, I believe in those because I believe. So I'm a Christian. So people, you think I don't know anything about that, Rosie. I'm like on the outside of all that kind of stuff going on. I don't watch enough of the channels involved to even know. So you would have to ask someone involved on that. I haven't seen that person. I heard at the time, this was a while ago, that like Jay stopped using her as a mod. Other than that, I don't know anything about. There's so much going on over there, mostly in the LA or with the younger people, that being here in Texas, and I don't watch a lot of those channels Because when I go on and I go look at live streams, I try to give my time to small channels. And some of these are the bigger channels that have a lot of people watching, so I don't really get to watch them. I go to Natalie's show for the recaps, and I like that other channels are doing recaps of like other things, because Natalie can't do it all in an hour. She does, the kind of big stuff. So we've got Scooter Mom is doing, I think, a type of a recap, and so is another channel or two, which I need to start watching so I know what's going on. So kind of doing the small channel news. I hope that's not true, Rosie. I really hope. Yeah, we try not to do politics here, William, because that's why I'm like doing conspiracy theories and stuff. It's too much of a hot button, and I don't want people to feel bad in the chat. That's one of the things about this community is we're all different walks of life, all different religions, all different political spectrums, as long as we don't let that be the subject. So, but you can stick around. We're doing all kinds of weird stuff. It's late night. So what were the ley lines? Yeah. So this is a weird. So my husband, I've told you guys this before. He called me a hillbilly hippie one time because I come from like hillbilly country folk type, but in my adult life, I've been interested in yoga. I read the Dalai Lama. I like holistic medicine, especially since I got sick. I've tried all different things. I try to find as many natural products. I have a whole notebook full of herbs and what they do, and a bunch of supplements, all kinds of different things. Yeah, me neither. I mean, I know the only thing I disagreed with in that whole thing, debacle, was that mods shouldn't be going to other people's channels. That was my only opinion that I put out there. We did talk a little bit about it, but kind of didn't go into the he said, she said stuff. I don't know enough about it. But if it was true at the time, I thought that was kind of not a good thing. But you know what? Here's the thing. Kind of just got off topic, but this is an unusual thing. I don't know, unless I'm just not up on YouTube. I've never seen a conglomeration of channels all working towards the exact same goal. We have over 200 channels all doing almost the same thing or trying to. And I don't understand why some reporter or journalist hasn't wanted to cover this. They obviously don't know. There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be personalities that butt heads, and feelings might get hurt. So if I've always stuck with, we don't talk about other creators in the chat because we just don't know, or even mods, because we don't know enough specifics to really talk on the subject, and I don't want to say something out of turn. Secondly, I just hope, and I know there are people that are starting to quit. The problem is, in certain community of channels, they might get their feeling hurt, but there's all these other people here that isn't going to give them those problems. Move away from them. Come hang out with us. Don't leave. Or supporters. Don't leave because one or two creators in SBTV you have a problem with, because you're going to find other people over here that don't mess with that stuff. I don't deal with the he said, she said. I don't know enough to, and I don't want that to be what I talk about. There are people that do know, and I do tend to go and look at things just so I know for me what's going on, but I still don't. Ley lines, I will explain that in just a second. What heavy thing that happened to any of you today? Yeah, I know. We're just not going to talk about that tonight, Rosie. We were on a different subject. So if you want to talk about it, you can email me. We can talk about it. But yeah, I know all about that. Once somebody does go as far as to like attack the SBTV Foundation or survivors of the cult, then I do get a little bit of an opinion. But it sounds like it's been taken care of, and I think it's pretty much over. Yeah. For most of us, that's over. We're done. We're not giving any air to those people anymore, and their oxygen, and just kind of ignoring it and hoping it just works. It seemed to have worked itself out, to be honest. So ley lines. So I was getting to that with telling you about how I read the Dalai Lama and all this, because I believe that there's an energy, even with my Christian beliefs, because God created everything. I believe that everything has an energy and we're all connected. Plants, animals, the earth, people, and kind of like, have you seen Avatar? How everything on that planet is connected? That's the way I feel about it. Yeah. I Here's my thing. I don't even care. As long as somebody isn't in my chat causing problems on my channel, I don't care. I don't even care what's going on. But and if even if I don't maybe agree with somebody how they do things, if they're still going after Scientology and they're still trying to do the work, more power to them. It's okay. It's okay. I get it. And that's kind of where I sit with it. If it's not affecting me directly, and it's not, they're not being like cruel to other people, then do your thing. Anyway, so I was getting to the energy about everything. So ley lines crisscross the earth, and they're lines of energy. They've done scientific study on it, but I don't know how to explain it. Go to Y files, and because they found that places like the pyramids that the Mayans built in South America, Stonehenge, and all of these places, when you put these ley lines over the earth, they're all connected by these lines of energy. Magnetic ley lines crisscross the earth. The pyramids in Egypt on the same lines as the pyramid temples South America. I just said it. Stonehenge, yeah. I've watched a lot on that. I see it now. No, I've heard of Carl Sagan though. I didn't know that's his book was called. I don't know if I can get into a book like that. I can listen to somebody talk about it for a few minutes, like in a documentary. You, Rosie, if you do you watch the Y Files? You would love the Y Files. He goes over all this stuff. I love that show because he does all different stuff. He'll go from biblical stuff here, and then he'll go over here to ley lines and pyramids and aliens and all kinds of stuff. Um, oh yeah, Tammy, that's a good one. All right, so I'll get to your question about the happy thing after the ley lines. So be thinking on that. What's the happiest thing that happened to you today? Um, but yeah, they've run those ley lines on the earth, and literally, and they'll even match up from one side of the earth to the other to major, you know, areas of, I don't know what the word is I want to call it. No face of energy, of happenings of significance that are ancient, and they didn't have a way to track ley lines, but yet all these places are on them. So, and of course, I know a lot about them because of fiction that I've read. I've read a lot of fiction, like fantasy and sci-fi and stuff, and of course, and they, like people that do magic, they get their energy from the ley lines. It's kind of in fiction, it's like that. Sounds like the pyramid is using the Earth magnetic field in order to generate electricity to give the space their energy to move and fly. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I've heard Carl Sagan mentioned a lot in this area. Um, I'm reading Gobekli Tepe right now because it's so interesting to me that it turned mainstream archaeology on its head, because they tried to say that 12,000 years ago we were only hunter-gatherers. Yep, I know, Art Bell. I don't know enough on him to talk about it. It was grounded in fact. Oh, okay. I should have figured that out. I can't type either, especially if you're on a phone. I can't see that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I watched something on the original Old Testament, the original Genesis, before all these translations, said God created worlds, plural. So, my other theory on that is, well, I'm not going to go into all that. I talked about it last week. Um, yeah, I've heard the name and it's in a lot of the stuff I watch, but my memory is shot. I have a Swiss cheese memory, so I can't remember what Art Bell was involved in. But yeah, all those, if they're involved in any of that, I've heard their name. And Y Files talks about all this stuff. Um, the Ancient Aliens show, I've watched all of that. Wish they'd make more episodes. I think they are. I mean, maybe I'm not caught up. I'll have to go look. Let me make sure we're caught up. Oh, here we go. Hey, Bridge. How are you? Hi, Susan. Richard Hoagland. Oh, yes. Coast to Coast. I know that. I know exactly who he is. I watched some shows from him. Yeah. If they're involved in Ancient Aliens or Y Files or any, I probably know who they are. I've heard their name. Because I like all that stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. They're finding more and more evidence as the science is catching up. Ooh, sorry, it's getting late. Um, yeah, if you haven't, Rosie or who, yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, if you haven't watched the Y Files, you should. And of course, they talk about Carl Sagan and Art Bell and all that on Ancient Aliens. And that's how I got the Gobekli Tepe book, which is sitting around here somewhere, because somebody on Ancient Aliens wrote it. And so I got it and I'm reading it because it's very interesting. But anyway, it's showing that they had a civilization in one place, that they had commerce, and they had, and they're also finding artifacts in places there shouldn't be, because I think they're going to find out people had shipping long before they think they did. And on Y Files, he talks about the missing continent of, oh, I can never remember. Where's my good phone? Oh, it fell. Fall down. You guys, when you watch me, if you haven't seen this before, this is when my phone gets hot. So my wallet's attached. So I have the flip phone, and when I'm filming, so you have a screen here and a screen here. This gets super. That's why it gets hot, because it's whatever's going on in there is between two pieces of glass. So I got it. So that's why I've been hotspotting off of this, trying to keep this from getting too hot. The missing continent. Some of them call it Mu, just MU, but that's not what most people call it. The name of the missing continent. No, that's not it. Zealandia, that's not it. Not it at all. Missing continent of Mu. Anyway, it was in the Pacific, I think, and so that's why Easter Island and places thousands of miles. Lemur, yes, Lemur. That's it. I think it's Lemur. Oh, Lemuria. And the reason that they called it that is a hypothetical continent that paleontologists coined in the mid-19th century to explain how you had these same lemurs in Madagascar that you had in India. And so they, let me get a picture of it. So it would have touched, it looks like Australia up to India area, almost all the way over to Africa. And so that's why I can't show it to you, because it's hard to do. But yeah. And that's how they say that, yeah, there probably it wasn't Atlantis. Oh, I missed a few. And the only thing is, every civilization has a flood myth, whether you're Christian or not. Even the Native Americans, every single peoples have a flood myth. So they're saying that there really was a flood, because they can also prove it, I think, archaeology, you know what I mean? And it's just underwater now. Hi, Golden Era. Oh, we're just talking about all kinds of wild stuff. Yeah. Tesla was done wrong. Nikolai Tesla and his test coils he was experimenting with Colorado Springs. We made contact with aliens. If you know who he is, he also invented AC electricity. Yeah, Edison stole his ideas. Coast to coast. I've coast to coasted since I was 14, 30 years ago. It's being used in Tesla cars, hence the name Tesla. Oh, I didn't know that about the Tesla cars. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hi, Danny. What's up? Oh, we're talking about all kinds of wild stuff. Right now we're talking about the missing continent of Lemuria that would explain why we have artifacts, and are actually not necessarily artifacts, but the same language from Easter Island and like thousands of miles away. They say they didn't have the shipping, but they're saying that there's a continent that's now underwater. Yeah, Tesla got screwed. He really did. He was a genius, and he died penniless. So somebody asked earlier, what was the happiest thing that happened to you today? Other than going to Austin today. That was fun. I always have fun when I do that. Oh, what's wrong, Danny? I'm not caught up. Are you sick? Being sick sucks. Mm-hmm. Woo. But, I watch a lot of history documentaries on like, ooh, I can't eat jalapenos unless I have to be really in the mood. Oh, it's trying to kill you. That can happen. Yeah. Um, what was I gonna? Oh, because they're talking about these ships that the Chinese built and the Polynesians possibly built. I think there was more. Here's the thing. And they also said the Romans built the first roads, and actually they didn't. They have found with LIDAR in South America, people that have been down there for decades uncovering, the Mayan ruins. They found a whole network of roads all through that connected this vast civilization, and they could only find it with the lidar, uh, because of the foliage in South, the jungle foliage and trees that have grown over it. They would have never found it. It's awesome. You should check it out. Me, I had a big thunder boom and my cat who jumped in my lap and wouldn't leave. Happy annoyance. Yeah. Oh, we had a storm recently back when we were getting those really bad storms. So it wasn't that recent. But my big pity usually doesn't really care too much. We were in the bedroom and it went off. This thunder, I swear it had to hit next to the house. I screamed. The dogs freaked. And my 60-pound pity, she doesn't understand how big she is. She has to be on you, her whole body. And she climbed into my lap. And I'm like, oh, because her eyes were like this. She normally doesn't get too scared, but she freaked out. I have heard there's a bug going around. Uh, yeah, I hate it when that happens. Hit the sanitizer. I was a germaphobe before COVID, but since COVID for sure, I live with sanitizer. I have sanitizer on me at all times. Like the cart at the store, when I get in the car, because I'm touching food and stuff usually when I get in the car on the way home. I'm always conscious of, and when I get home, I take all my street clothes off. I haven't even had the flu. I used I used to get the flu really bad once a year, and I haven't had the flu since I started doing that. You scream, the dog scream, y'all scream for ice cream. Yeah, my husband swore on blackberry brandy. Twake is swig too. Sleep. Oh no, Amy, that's terrible. Well, I use for anything with the throat and even with congestion, I use honey because you can take it every 5 minutes if you want, especially for cough. Matter of fact, I was coughing last night, or no, it would have been on my husband's day off, and he woke me up and says, "You want honey?" I said, "Yeah." I took it and went back to sleep, no coughing. I had bronchitis, a chest something going on really bad one time, and I didn't even get antibiotics for it or anything. I had pineapple juice and honey. That was it, and I got over that faster than I ever had before. Because it'll start with me. It'll be allergies, then it goes into my throat, and then it goes into my chest, and then I'm sick. So I swear by honey and pineapple juice. Pineapple juice is really good for phlegm, congestion. So just things I've tried, because I would rather do that than over the counter unless I absolutely have to. But yeah, all of these things I've been bringing up, you can go watch. I'm gonna be using my inhaler soon. Ugh, I know I hate to use my inhaler. It's the last resort for me. I hate the jittery. Another remedy for cough. Oh, yep, yep. I've heard of that too. Next time I need it, I'll try it. And garlic. I take that drink in the mornings. I don't do it every day. I should. I'm really into like gut health, and I've been really good since I've been doing a lot of this stuff. I do the spoonful of apple cider vinegar, and I make honey syrup, and it's just I slice lemons, and I have garlic paste. So you do a layer of lemons, you pour in your honey, and you put your garlic in, and then you just keep layering it, and you let it sit. You just keep that in the fridge. A tablespoon of that into a little glass, a shot glass like of hot water, and then apple cider vinegar with that, and you just drink that before you eat anything. First thing in the morning. That's really helped me a lot. And that's just with just about a lot of different things. It'll help a little bit with acid reflux too. Apple cider vinegar is amazing for so many things. If you want to get, you know how a male cat, when they get to a point, if they haven't been fixed, they spray. So I had a male cat that didn't have a litter box in the house. He would go to the door like a dog and go outside. So we hadn't bothered to get him fixed right away. And he started spraying on my carpet. We don't have carpet anymore, but we did then. I didn't know. So we went and got him taken care of. The only thing that got that out of my carpet is I did like 50% water, and because I needed it to go into the carpet and all the way to the floor like the pea did. So I did like big measuring cup of 50 water, 50 apple cider vinegar, and I poured that on. Smell was gone. It it helps with smells. You only smelled the apple cider vinegar for a few hours and then it was gone. I was amazed. And this was before the internet. Thank God somebody told me that. It was like in the 90s. So, and then my country mother-in-law, when I used to have acid reflux really bad, I was at her house and she just took apple cider vinegar and a teaspoon of baking soda, and then I had to chug it. And I thought, well, apple cider vinegar is acidic. Isn't it just going to make it worse? No. I'd do a big burp and it was gone. It was great. Yeah. I found that the apple cider vinegar, well, I didn't try white. So I used the apple cider vinegar 'cause back then that's what I was told. I use white vinegar for so many things. I don't buy cleaners anymore. I'm live, you idiot. She knows I go live. Let me tell her. Um, she was in my live this afternoon. Yeah, baking soda, big burps. Yeah, that's what would happen, and it worked. I guess she doesn't need anything. It's 2 hours earlier for her. So what time is it? So for her, it's only 9:25. But yeah. But yeah, if I can find a home remedy for something first, definitely do that. But yeah, I don't. The only cleaners I use is either the white vinegar, or there's an orange concentrate called SOL, and it was just natural orange oil, and it was concentrated, and you just put it in water. I love that stuff. You know what was funny? What I would use that for is when you wear sandals. Dirt gets up in the sandals, and I was working, and I wore in the summer. I wore a lot of open shoes. When I got home, I would take that orange cleaner. I would spray the inside of my sandals, wipe them, and put them away, and it kept them clean and no smell, no feet smell. I love that stuff, but I've been trying to find it lately, and I can't find it. I love that stuff. If you can find it, get it, because very little goes a long way. Indigestion or hiccups, baking soda. Yeah, I haven't tried it for hiccups. I'm actually one of those people. I'm very weird, but I can literally just drink. I fill my whole mouth with water and I drink it in one big gulp, and it forces the air bubble up. It works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Everybody has different things that work. Rubbing alcohol. Oh, yeah. We use, alcohol is something else. We have it in a spray bottle. We use it for a lot of things. Amy, yes, it does burn. Yeah. It's from when I use it, it's got honey in it. It's just a tablespoon in a couple ounces of water. So it's not too bad. I was just going to write that same comment. Yeah. Um, yeah, I warm the water up. It also helps the honey. If you don't, you have to warm up the water to help that honey dissolve too. Opposite side of glass. Hiccup. Oh, I see what you mean. Everybody has remedies for hiccups. It's funny when you talk to people. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, another remedy for cough. Oh no, I read that one. Yeah. Let me know if I miss a comment, because it's definitely an accident. Golden Arrow. What incarnation just happened? I was completely kicked out of YouTube. I've been in YouTube a couple times in here recently, where I'm typing and it's like not going in, and then it all goes in at once. Then things start getting all janky. I've literally, yeah, I can see you, Golden Era. Um, Literally had to sign out of my whole. It wasn't. I couldn't close YouTube. I had to restart my whole phone. It was weird. Yeah, Tim. I was on a YouTube channel where the creator had hiccups. A person in the chat told her to drink while biting on a pencil. He ended up super chatting 50 so she would read his comment and do it. Oh my gosh, it worked. I've never heard of that one. Wow. I know it's weird. Some of these things really work. Hubby, I think, does the powder method, where like some sort of like powdered cocoa or sugar or something. He tries to do that. Thank God. I used to get him really bad. I don't get him as bad anymore. Yeah, that is weird, Golden Era. I've heard some people getting some weird things on. Uh, oh no, or oh hell no. She said that her uh, um, can't think of the word. She'll disappear out of the chat. Nobody did anything. She has to go into one of her other accounts and come back to be able to be in the chat. It just disappears. And we're still trying to figure out why that's happening. I don't know. YouTube's got enough dang money. They need to get some people on that. Figure out what's going on. Yeah, some people do like that. Like you said, the straight spoonful of baking soda and then water, because they think that the dry powder goes in and somehow helps that air bubble disappear. They hide people from each other too. I know, it's weird. I haven't really had any problems myself, so too much, except for the YouTube acting junkie. But I don't know. Weird things happen. Oh wow. Sorry guys. Really. I'm an all day yawner. I found out some I need to learn to do that breathing technique. I'm a shallow breather. Because of that, I yawn all day long. I don't breathe deeply like you should. I was trying to get good at that in yoga and stuff, but I'm terrible at remembering. Uh, I do the exact thing when I drink it. I make deodorant. I've heard people using that. I tried to go off of regular antiperspirant because they said if you don't allow the toxins to come out, that can cause you to possibly get um, lymph node cancer and stuff. And so, because antiperspirant blocks up your pores. So I tried to go to the natural stuff for a long time, and being in Texas, it's just not possible. I tried for a while, didn't work. But if you can not use antiperspirant and use just a deodorant or something natural, it's better for you. Anything that says it might be anti-cancer, I've tried because there's too much cancer in my family. I know, I can't stand the smell if I did that. Yeah. It's too hot here to use just deodorant. It's just not possible. But yeah, I try to get in. We were talking about it earlier, the natural remedies if I can. If you have any pain, frankincense oil. Actually, so I have these bad discs in my lower back. I have that implant now, but before I got that done, um, I could rub frankincense oil on it and it would feel better. Only I get the 20% solution because the higher the concentrate it is, the more expensive it is. And you just have to reapply it a lot. So I don't use it all the time. It smells good though. I'm going out on a limb and going to say that no one here is an expert. Yeah, we're not. Just find things that work for us. I just like to put things out. If I find something that works, I want to let other people know. Like, if you have chronic pain, um, any kind of chronic pain, go gluten free, which I did. I had a nutritionist chiropractor tell me in 2012 to go gluten free and dairy free. I've never gone dairy free, but I don't eat a lot of dairy. I just eat some cheese because I use almond milk. Um, because gluten causes inflammation, so it exacerbates your pain. Well, it took me about a year to finally do it because back then in 2012, 2013, it was hard to find gluten free products. I had to drive down to Austin to Whole Foods to get that stuff. So, but when I finally did it, I started sleeping better. I started having more energy. My tremors went away. I had tremors really bad when I first got fibro. I just tremors all the time. I looked like I had Parkinson's. Those went away. And I know it works because when I cheat and have pizza or something, I can tell. I feel it. Um, So it can help like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, any autoimmune disease, any chronic pain. Going and there's so many products out there now just at Walmart. Matter of fact, the best gluten-free bread is Walmart's store brand multigrain bread. It's the most like real bread. I've tried them all. Um, it's so easy to get gluten-free pasta and gluten-free this and that it's so easy now. I can get gluten-free chicken nuggets, all kinds of stuff. Let's see. Yeah, they keep pushing the Lumi deodorant. They're trying to say we smell everywhere. It's ridiculous, but I shower every day and use a washcloth. I actually use powder, being in Texas, and I use a lot of powder. Matter of fact, my poor bathroom is covered in powder all the time. I'll clean it and literally with it by the next day. But I use a lot of powder in the summer. But yeah, I've been looking at that Lume though. I've been really thinking about it. But tonight I learned that the moon is hollow and baking soda makes you burp. I'm gonna put that in the title. Yep. I found out that unless you make your own almond milk with almonds, then there is an addictive added to almond milk or a preservative that also causes inflammation. Well, I did study like every almond milk, and I've stick with silk because the other almond milks and oat milk add sunflower oil, lecithin. Silk has like the least amount of ingredients without all the additives that all these other brands put in. It's the best I could do. My favorite though, but it comes in a much smaller bottle, so it's a little more expensive, is Malk, MALK. It's like the best one you can get, but Walmart doesn't sell it, and that's who I get my grocery delivery from. So I only get it when I go to a certain store. That Malk is the best, and then Silk to me is the second best. The other ones have all this soy oil or sunflower oil added and it just tastes funny to me. I can't do oat milk at all because it's got so much added stuff to it. So yeah, I thought about trying to make my own. I don't use very much. I make a cold brew and I use like maybe a tablespoon of milk in it. Every once in a while I have cereal. Drinking baking soda is easy to test if you have adequate acid in the stomach. Stomach should be acidic. Yeah. Well, my mother-in-law, she put the baking soda in the apple cider vinegar and had me drink that because they both kind of help. And my acid reflux was gone because I was on Nexium for years, forever. But I'm a lot better now. The other day, though, oh my gosh. I usually don't have a problem taking my morning pills. I take quite a few. But somehow they sat, this was a few days ago, and stayed in one spot. And I guess they just started just burning in there. And I tried my Lanta. I drank a whole bottle of water, and I just couldn't get whatever was going on to move. That happens every once in a great while. I think it's the NSAID I take. It's in a capsule, and I think it dissolved too fast. Like it needed to keep moving, and it didn't. Felt like it was burning a hole in my stomach. Silk has the preservative that. Oh, does it? Oh man, I'm gonna look into that. I'll take any information. I'll look that up. If it does, I'll just go to the other store and get them all. That's the best I can do, because in our later years we become lactose intolerant. My husband is the cereal eater, so anything that causes inflammation, I got to get rid of. Man, my elbows and my knees some days. My goodness. I got all kinds of natural remedies. Oh, you can get a unit that makes nut milk, including almond milk. I've seen them. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Have you seen? I'm not a drinker, but I just thought it was interesting. It's like a Keurig for drinks, for cocktails, and you have these 4 containers you put your alcohol in, and you connect that. Then you have these little pods like a Keurig for different types of drinks, and it makes your drink for you. I'm like, man, how lazy can we be? And we gotta have a machine to make our cocktails. I can't drink liquor, so I'm not interested in it. Liquor, I can't. It's too hard on my stomach. I can drink beer. That's about it. Sometimes when I drink too much cold brew because it's acidic, I can tell. But yeah, some of these machines that I see online are just amazing. Things that they do. I just saw. I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna get it because I like to sweep with a broom. That's just me. I like to sweep with it because we don't have carpet anymore. I do have one of those stick vacs, but I'd rather use a broom and get all the cracks and crevices. And it's just a machine. It's probably about, I couldn't tell how tall it was. Maybe it's about that tall from the floor. And it's just kind of egg shaped. It just sits there. And when you sweep, you just sweep up it's a vacuum, but it's for you to sweep up into it. And you don't have to use a dustpan. It's like an electric dustpan. It's pretty awesome. I might have to get it. Yeah. I didn't drink for a long, long, long time. I didn't miss it at all. And we very rarely, my husband gets these little tiny Coronas, and he'll drink them after he gets home from work. He's wired when he needs to go to sleep because it's daylight outside. And that's just enough to get him to like relax and chill and go to sleep. But we don't go to parties or do anything, so we don't really do anything like that very often. I bought the last time I have some beer right now that I bought. It's just sitting there. The last time I bought beer, I think it sat there for like it was literally like a 6-pack, and it was there for like a month. Tammy, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. They were first invented for hair salons, so when they swept up the hair, the unit would suck it up. Wow. Well, now it's for everybody. I don't know where I saw it. I think it was Amazon. I should own stock in Amazon. I'm telling you. Let me see if I can find it. Oh. Computer glasses and phone glasses. Let's see. What would you call that? Stationary glasses. I don't know what it. Yeah, there it is. Touchless vacuum automatic dustpan. Because in the RV, he was going to set me up something like that. Where you just put the vacuum cleaner like under one of the beds, the bunks, and make a hole, and it's an automatic vacuum system. He was going to make me something like that. But yeah, so they can get them in different shapes and everything. So this is the one that I saw. I don't know if can you see it at all? No, you can't see it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that because it even though I have the dustpan with the handle and stuff, when I sweep, it tends to hurt my back. That might help. Those are cool. What kind of items have you guys found that make your life easier? I have to order those couch covers for the dogs. We're using this fleece fabric that I got. I keep all my couches covered. This couch is years old. You'd never know. It looks brand new because I've always kept blankets on it. Good night, Amy. I know it's late. I'll probably be going off here soon. I just thought it'd be fun for anybody that couldn't go to sleep. We could just hang out for a little while till people got tired. I talk my husband to sleep. I can be talking to him and he'll fall right to sleep. And half the time I won't even know it because the man hardly ever acknowledges me anyway. Every once in a while I'll be like, it'd be nice if you just grunt every once in a while, let me know you're listening. He was like that in high school. We literally would talk all night on the phone, and he would respond so little that he told me years later that he actually was asleep a lot while I'm talking. So he talks a little bit more now in his elder years than he did when he was younger. I was like, man, we can talk for hours. No, it was just me talking to myself. That's why I said I'm made for this. My husband trained me to just talk. Purging down to the bare minimum basics has made my life easier. Yes, I'm ready to we bought our travel trailer. We got a big one because the plan was to move into it. We can't take care of this house anymore. With his issues, he's 80% disabled. I'm 100. And I just can't take care of this house anymore. I had a caretaker for about 6 years that I hired on my own. And she kept up, but she was in her 60s when she started. So she couldn't stay for long. And I just never tried to get anybody else. So it's hard for me to keep up. And now that was before I was doing the YouTube. So now 3 days a week, I'm gone all day. It's gotten a little bit more difficult. So my house does get on my nerves every once in a while. Things are clean, like germ wise, but it's the clutter sometimes gets to me. So I have to get on that every once in a while. It's still like unloading dishwasher can take me several hours because I do a couple items at a time because I can't bend a lot. That's why I can stand when I'm in Austin. Standing's okay. It's the bending and the sitting that is difficult by the time I get home. Like sitting like this, after that, when I get off here, I'm going to be needing to lay flat. So, but it's okay. Like I said, things happen for a reason. I mean, how was it that I finally I went 5 years being bedridden, and then last November, they're like, hey, why don't we do this pain stimulator implant? I'm like, okay. And it worked, and it was healed by January when I knew they were opening down there just in time for me to start going down there. And because I was bedridden, I was able to deep dive into this Scientology stuff. And that's why I know, so I can really talk about that because I was, immersed in it for over a year before SPTV. Well, it wasn't a year, but before SPTV even started. So that's why I can speak on it and then not be able to remember somebody's name from last week. I saw a TV show and they said if you haven't used it at least in the last 6 months, get rid of it. Yes. The lady, my caretaker with clothes, she said the same. Oh, and she said if you buy something new, like so say like a piece of clothing, but if you buy she said no, she meant anything. If you buy something new, get rid of something else. And I've tried to actually do that. My problem is I'm set up. We have so much stuff that literally has come in handy. I'm like, oh, somebody might need this. Yeah, my kids have. Well, now my daughter's moved away. My son's moved away to go to school again. And I'm ready to we have a 60 by 30 shed that's packed. And I haven't been in there in over a year. So obviously we don't need what's in there. So when the weather finally breaks, it cools off, we're going to do a purge of that for sure. And every time I buy something now, I'm like, can I use this in the RV? If we downsize to the RV, can I use this? Like, if not, I don't get it. Because I know we're going to have to get rid of a lot of things. The hard part is going to be the family heirlooms. I have a desk, an antique desk. I have an antique dining room table that I use. I have a antique drop leaf table that's right back here that has 2 antique chairs. They all belong to my great grandmother. That's the only thing. And my kids have not been like stable for like in one place long enough for me to give them any of this yet. My daughter moved 2 years ago to California and literally got rid of everything she owned because they couldn't afford a big U-Haul. And I stayed with her last September. They had like nothing almost. And I'm like, I couldn't do that in my 30s. I was established by then. Let's see. I've got, and my vanity. I really like my vanity. It's, I think it's mid-century. I'm not sure, but it's really low and has the big round mirror. And it had a stool that you sat on, but somebody got that when my grandma died. I don't know how they wanted the stool, not the vanity, but okay. Most of the family heirlooms I got before these people passed away. They gave them to me. No, that's not true. My great grandmother's stuff. I did get some things before they passed away. I've got china that I've never used. It just sits. But I don't dare give it to one of the kids that get broken. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all that. I think we're just going to have to get one of those climate controlled storage spaces for just the family heirlooms until somebody has their own real house and isn't going to be moving again. And that's when I'll give them something. So, you know what? I'm going to go. It's been almost 2 hours. It was a lot of fun. I like talking about weird stuff. I don't have any friends here in town, so you guys are my friends. So it's fun to talk about interesting topics. Help me come up with a topic this week for next Saturday. Give me some suggestions. I'll put it in the community tab. You know, if you guys can come up with a neat conversation starter, that'd be helpful. So y'all have a good weekend. If you're going to be here for Dianetics tomorrow at 3, we're going to be talking about the quiet verse that John Travolta and them talked about. This should be interesting. So I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good rest of your weekend.